Hello, spring football fans. Well, the UFL Final Four is officially set now. Yesterday, we knew that Birmingham and Michigan are going to play in the USFL Conference Championship for the second year in a row. And this year, it will be the DC Defenders and the St. Louis Battlehawks who are making their second straight playoff appearance in the XFL Conference Championship game. And with the Defenders win, now that they put themselves in the playoffs, they knocked out the Arlington Renegades, and the St. Louis Battlehawks also clinched a playoff spot with the Arlington loss. And my goodness, what a game. I've been saying this Arlington, DC is the UFL equivalent of the Dallas Cowboys and Washington Redskins. These games have been fun. I don't care if it's at their place or in Audi Field. Of course, they played that unbelievable upset of an XFL championship years ago. This has become quite a rivalry. And good job by the DC fans. Their biggest crowd of the year, 14,628. Their biggest crowd of the year. And my goodness, what a battle this was. I mean, we've had 4 good games. This has been the best weekend of football in the UFL this year. Someone proved me wrong. I mean, you comment down below on what week was better, and I'll listen to you. I mean, I agree with you, but I'll listen to you. All 4 games, and 3 of them came right down to the wire. Total yards. Arlington had 429, DC had 384. So this was an offensive explosion. And I'm going to say this about the Blake Williams defense, taking place with Greg. He better tighten up this defense. I mean, I'm seeing patterns of last year and in the year that they went to the XFL championship. I see the defenses is starting to break down. Well, we'll talk about that another time. 429 yards of offense Arlington had today, 384 for DC. Passing yards, Arlington had 100 yards more. Rushing yards is where I think the game was won. 135 for DC, 86 for Arlington. And they usually like to run with Count Ballage, but he's out. So first downs was 27-18 in favor of Arlington. Time of possession was 13 minutes in favor of Arlington. And today, Luis Perez had 350 yards in passing. 2 touchdowns, but of course, at the end, the absolute blunder of an interception with 6 seconds to go. They were in field goal range. DeAndre Baker, former New York Giant, I'll just put that out there, picks it off. Almost runs it back. Game over. DC wins. Arlington loses. Jordan Ta'amu was 2 for 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. Deion Jackson had 89 yards rushing, a touchdown at 10 attempts. Cornell Powell was your top receiver with 4 receptions, 59 yards and 2 touchdowns. D.A. Hunter had 40 yards of rushing and 10 attempts. And Sal Cannell, another good game, 6 catches, 64 yards. And I am telling you, the Arlington Renegades started out a promising year. And I'm telling you, they're going to look at all these losses. I mean, 4. You can make an argument all 5 of their losses could have been wins. Or should have been wins. Or at least been in a position, at least today, to go to overtime for a chance to win. Something you don't expect out of a guy like Luis Perez. But man, what were they thinking? What were they thinking? Throw the ball out of bounds. Just don't do that. And I'm telling you, this was one hell of an air shootout by both quarterbacks. Ball distributed very evenly on both teams. Cornell Powell. I said Chris Rowland had a pass for 9 yards for a touchdown to Jordan Tambo. We had a black punt for a touchdown for Arlington. And then this is the second quarter. It looks like you thought DC was going to put the game away. Then they challenged, they play, and what I think Jordan Rogers described as Pereira as playing crime scene investigator with the challenge of the replay, and that took a long time to figure that one out. And you thought DC's gonna have momentum, and boom, just like that, the momentum went back to the Arlington Renegades. And what a game this was. Like I said, I call this the equivalent of the Cowboys and Redskins, and it's a hell of a rivalry. And that's what I like about this league. We've had a chance to develop some rivalries. These have been some great games between these two teams. And this is why we like this league. Wasn't much defense today. I ain't gonna talk about the defense much at all, but with that said, yesterday we discussed that no matter what happens, that the USFL Conference Championship is not going to be played in Birmingham because of a scheduling conflict with Ford Field. This is the second year in a row that's happened with the Panthers in this league. Now, last year it worked out good because the Stallions end up winning the conference. Now, with the Panthers being up one game in the standings, but they've lost to Birmingham once already, and they play them again this week in Birmingham. I'm rooting for Birmingham because this is going to bother me if Michigan gets the #1 seed, but they have to go to Birmingham. So I'm rooting for Birmingham. I'm not going to lie. And today we got the word that no matter what happens, if the DC Defenders were to get the #1 seed, because Audi Field is not available because DC United, the MLS team, plays a game that Saturday, June 7th, they're going to play the game in St. Louis. So it's like, I want to root for my team on that last Friday game at home against the Battlehawks, but what difference does it make? And the same can be said for this weekend coming up between the Panthers and the Stallions. Now, you can make a mistake. The Panthers want to finally get a win against the Stallions, which I get it. I do. But what does it mean 2 weeks from now when you got to travel to Birmingham anyway to play your home game? This is the type of stuff that makes it hate of this league. It gives it more fuel. This is the type of stuff that for the diehard fans like us who watch this league just sit there and scratch your head and get aggravated about. You work hard all week to see your team make the playoffs and get the #1 seed, potentially, and you got to go on the road because of the Bush League stuff that we have to deal with. And I'm sorry, but this is not the first year of this league. This is the second year of this league together. Fourth overall for the XFL teams. Third for the USFL teams. You guys need to get it together. And if that wasn't bad enough, because the game ran a little late, you didn't see the ending of the game because they switched from the game to NBA Countdown at the very end of the game. So if you didn't know the game was on ESPN2 or couldn't turn the game on quick enough to ESPN2, you missed that awesome DeAndre Baker interception, which sealed the game and broke the hearts of the Renegades fans. This is the type of stuff. It just drives me crazy. ESPN is covering this league, and they do something like that. I understand we're not the NBA, but do the fans really need to see the NBA Countdown pregame show when you have a game like that on the air? It's not a good look for the league. In fact, this weekend hasn't been a good look for the week. Despite this is a great weekend of football, the Panthers and Defenders now have a chance to play a home game. And what happened with that TV thing at the end of the Renegades game, it's a slap in the face. You cannot describe it as anything else but a slap in the face. Now, we've seen some unbelievable plays in this league this year. And ESPN won't put it in their top 10 plays, ever. Even though they've been quite a few plays worthy of the top 10. I know ESPN is a big name in sports, but you gotta wonder, is this the right channel for this league? Fox owns the league, so they're not going anywhere. That's fine. But if you are the Redbird Capital Group, Danny Garcia, or The Rock if he's ever around, you might want to give CBS and NBC a call when this contract's up. Hey, you think you guys could take a chance in covering this league? Since ESPN is nothing more than a spot to fill their time slots. So I'm sorry. Today it was disappointing. If you're a diehard fan like me and you think you're going to make the playoffs and you miss a play like that because you could go to ESPN2 in time enough, that's aggravating. I was planning to go to the Battlehawks DC game at the end of the year. Why bother? Because even if we win the game and we get home field advantage, we don't have home field advantage. I read a couple comments online, people not going to renew their season tickets because of what happened today. Not the TV thing, but not knowing they're going to have home field advantage, no matter what. This is why you get season tickets. They beat first in line to get the playoff game. And now you can't even provide the playoff game. I'm sorry, this is a disgrace. Put your comments down below. I'd like to hear your opinion on this. Are you aggravated as I am? Even if you're a Battlehawks fan, do you want to be the number 2 seed if you're comfortable hosting a home game because your owners really suck at planning things? Same thing with the Birmingham Stallion fans. Do you feel comfortable hosting, potentially, a home game in the playoffs when you're the number 2 seed? Alright, despite that, it was a great week of football. It was an exciting week of football, but unfortunately, this week's game between the Panthers and the... well, let's look at the league schedule for Week 9 coming up. See if I can find it here. Week 9. Let's see, that's Week 8. This shouldn't be that hard to find. Come on. Alright, regardless. This week you have a big game between Birmingham and Michigan. And the game is, like I said, knowing how the home games are going to go, there's a lot of juice taken out of that potentially great game because of this. And it's going to be the same thing in Week 10 when the Battlehawks and the Defenders play the Friday night game of the week. It's not going to mean anything. I can't find the schedule. Anyway, you all have a good night. Let me know what you think. Shields up, Defender fans. We're back in the playoffs. Congratulations to the Battlehawk fans. Hey, listen, the two best fan bases, the most loyal fan bases, are going to be playing each other, which has become another good rivalry between St. Louis and D.C. And Birmingham, if Michigan can finally win this week, we can maybe call that a rivalry because Birmingham has won every game in that series so far. So, for the love of football, We'll talk to you in a few days.